Welcome to Talk About It in English, where we help you take the English out of your head and get it into your mouth. I am joined by Jack today, and we are diving into a problem that is incredibly painful for so many of you. You are probably nodding your head already because you know this feeling. You watch a video in English or you listen to a podcast, and you feel great because you understand 90% of what is being said. You feel like your level is getting higher and higher. But then, the moment you step outside or join a Zoom call and someone asks you a simple question like, "What did you do this weekend?" your brain suddenly feels like a computer that has just crashed. The screen goes black, the words disappear, and you end up giving a one-word answer like good or busy. Jack, I know you see this with students all the time, and it is one of the biggest reasons people feel like they are failing, even when they are studying hard.
It is absolutely heartbreaking. Because these learners are putting in the hours, they are doing the work, they are watching the lessons, but they are trapped in what we call passive fluency. They have a massive library of English words inside their brain, but the library is disorganized, and the librarian has gone on vacation. So when they need a word, they can't find it. Today, we want to tell you that you are not bad at English, and you do not have a bad memory. You have just been training the wrong muscle. If you want to speak English in real-life situations with confidence, you have to stop being a consumer of English and start being a producer. Before we get into the details of how to fix this, make sure you hit that subscribe button because every week we bring you a new real-life topic to help you practice your speaking, not just your listening. By subscribing, you are telling yourself that you are ready to stop just studying grammar and start actually talking about your life.
That is such an important point. Because speaking is a physical skill. Think about it like this. You could watch 10,000 hours of people playing the piano on YouTube. You could learn the history of the piano, you could learn how to read music perfectly, and you could understand exactly how the keys work. But if I sit you down in front of a real piano and tell you to play a song, what happens? Your fingers won't move. They feel heavy and clumsy. Why? Because you haven't trained your muscles. You haven't built that connection between your brain and your hands. English is exactly the same. Your ears are trained, but your mouth is not. When you understand English but can't speak it, it means your input is at a high level, but your output is still at the beginning. We need to close that gap.
To understand why this happens, we have to look at how our brains process language. There are actually two different areas of the brain involved here. One area, called Wernicke's area, is responsible for understanding language. When you listen to us right now, that part of your brain is working hard. The other area, called Broca's area, is responsible for producing language. It's what moves your tongue, your lips, and your vocal cords. The problem is that these two areas do not talk to each other as much as we think they do. You can spend all day feeding your understanding brain, but your producing brain is essentially sleeping. If you don't wake it up, it will never be ready when you need it at work or in a social situation. This is why we see people who can read a complex medical journal in English but can't ask for a cup of coffee without stuttering.
That explains why the strategy most people use is so ineffective. They think the solution is more input. They think if I just watch one more movie or listen to one more lesson, eventually I will wake up one day and be fluent. But that is the passive fluency myth. It's a trap. It makes you feel productive because you are spending time on English, but it's not the kind of time that leads to speaking. This is why we want to introduce you to the 50-50 rule. This is a simple framework that will change your progress forever. For every 10 minutes you spend listening or reading in English, you must spend 10 minutes speaking out loud. If you watch a 5-minute video on this channel, you need to spend 5 minutes talking back to the screen. If you spend an hour on a grammar app, you need an hour of vocalizing. You have to balance the scales.
Let's talk about how to actually do that, because most people say they don't have anyone to talk to. They say, "Jack, I live in a country where no one speaks English. How am I supposed to practice my output?" The good news is that your brain doesn't actually know the difference between talking to a person and talking to yourself. The physical act of moving your mouth and forming sentences is what builds the muscle memory. One of the most powerful tools we recommend is the talkback method. Imagine you are watching a video about someone's daily routine. Instead of just nodding along, you pause the video after every few sentences, and you try to summarize what you just heard in your own words. You aren't just repeating what they said, you are taking the information into your head, processing it, and then pushing it back out through your mouth.
I love the talkback method because it forces you to use the English you already have to explain new ideas. Let's try a quick example of how this looks in a real-life study session. If you hear a speaker say something like, "I usually get up at 7, but this morning I overslept and missed my bus," you should pause. Then you say out loud, "Okay, she usually wakes up early, but today she was late because she slept too much and she couldn't catch the bus." Notice that you might use slightly different words. You might say woke up instead of get up. That's perfect. You are using your active vocabulary to describe the passive vocabulary you just heard. This is the exact skill you need when you are at work and you forget a specific word. If you have practiced the talkback method, your brain is already used to finding a different way to say the same thing.
It really removes that fear of the blank brain. Another technique that is essential for A2 and B1 learners is shadowing. Now, a lot of people think shadowing is just repeating. They listen to a sentence and they say it back. But if you do it that way, you are missing the most important part. You need to shadow in 3 levels. The first level is just the words. You want to get the sounds right. The second level is the emotion. If the speaker sounds frustrated because they missed their bus, you should sound frustrated too. This helps you move away from that flat, robotic tone that many learners have. The third level is the speed and the rhythm. English is a stress-timed language, which means some words are long and some words are very short and fast. By mimicking the rhythm, you are training your mouth to handle the natural flow of the language.
Let's actually demonstrate a bit of shadowing right now so you can hear the difference. I'm going to say a very common sentence about a job. "Jack, I want you to shadow me." The sentence is, "I've been working on this project for 3 weeks and I'm finally starting to see some progress." Ready? I've been working on this project for 3 weeks.
I've been working on this project for 3 weeks.
And I'm finally starting to see some progress.
And I'm finally starting to see some progress.
Now, Jack, let's do it with more emotion. Imagine you are tired, but you are happy that the work is finishing. I've been working on this project for 3 weeks.
I've been working on this project for 3 weeks.
And I'm finally starting to see some progress.
And I'm finally starting to see some progress.
Did you hear how Jack changed his tone? He wasn't just saying words, he was communicating a feeling. When you do this at home, you are teaching your mouth that these aren't just sounds from a textbook. They're tools for real life. If you do this for just 10 minutes a day, you will notice that when someone asks you about your work in a real meeting, your mouth will feel lighter. The words won't feel like they are stuck behind your teeth. They will want to come out because you've already said them 100 times in your bedroom. You've already built the path from your brain to your lips.
It's also about lowering the stakes. One reason we freeze in real conversations is that we feel like it's a performance. We feel like we are on a stage, and if we make a mistake, we fail. But when you are practicing the 50-50 rule alone, there is no pressure. You can make 1,000 mistakes, and no one cares. This builds a foundation of safety. I often tell my students to narrate their day as if they are the star of a reality TV show. When you are making your morning coffee, don't just do it in silence. Say out loud, "Okay, now I am boiling the water. I'm looking for my favorite mug. Oh, here it is. I think I'll put a little bit of milk in today." It sounds silly, but you are practicing the most common words and grammar structures in a natural way. You are talking about your life, which is exactly what our channel is all about.
I actually did that when I was learning my second language, and it helped so much. I would talk to my dog. My dog didn't care if my grammar was perfect, but it kept my mouth moving. And that leads us to another big myth, which is the idea that you need a native speaker to practice with. Many people use this as an excuse to not speak. They say, "I don't have a teacher," or "I don't live in London, so I can't practice." But as we've shown, 80% of the work is just developing your own mouth muscles. Think of it like a gym. A native speaker is like a personal trainer. They can help you refine your technique and push you harder, but you still have to lift the weights yourself. You can lift those weights at home every single day. If you wait until you have a native speaker to talk to, you will be too nervous to actually say anything when the moment finally arrives. That is so true. It's like trying to run a marathon without ever having gone for a jog. You need those daily jogs to build your stamina. Let's look at a specific scenario that many of our viewers face. Imagine you are at a coffee shop in an English-speaking country, or maybe you are at a hotel while traveling. You know the words for coffee, milk, and sugar. You understand the menu perfectly. But when the barista looks at you and says, "What can I get for you today?" you panic. You might just point at the menu and say, this one, please. You feel disappointed in yourself afterward because you know you can do better. If you had used the 50-50 rule that morning, you could have practiced that exact interaction in your kitchen. You could have said the words out loud while holding your own mug. Practice makes the words familiar, and familiarity kills fear. Fear is really the main enemy here. We are so afraid of sounding stupid or being judged that we stay silent. But the irony is that by staying silent, we never get the practice we need to stop sounding stupid. We have to be willing to be a little bit messy at first. This is why we focus on real-life topics on this channel, like your weekend or your health. These are things you talk about every single day in your own language. We want you to be able to do the same in English. If you can talk about your job for 2 minutes without stopping, even if you make 3 grammar mistakes, you are a much more effective communicator than someone who knows the perfect tense but is too afraid to speak a single sentence. Effective communication is about flow, not perfection. If you can keep the conversation moving, people will forgive your mistakes. They probably won't even notice them. Think about when you talk to someone who is learning your native language. Do you count their grammar errors? No, you just try to understand their meaning. The goal of the 50-50 rule is to make you so comfortable with the sounds of English that you can focus on your meaning instead of your grammar. You want to get to the point where your mouth knows what to do automatically. This is why we keep emphasizing the need to repeat and shadow key phrases until they stay in your mouth, not just in your head. It's a physical transformation. I want to give everyone a concrete plan they can start today. We call it the 7-Day Output Challenge. For the next 7 days, I want you to choose one video from our channel each day. Most of our videos are short, around 5 to 10 minutes. Watch the video once all the way through, just to understand the topic. This is your input phase. Then watch it a second time, but this time you are going to use the 50-50 rule. Every time you hear a sentence that sounds useful for your life, pause the video. Shadow that sentence 3 times. First, say it slowly to get the sounds. Second, say it at normal speed. Third, say it with feeling, as if you are actually talking to a friend. If you do this with just 5 sentences per video, you will have produced 35 high-quality, real-life sentences by the end of the week. That is such a manageable goal. 35 sentences might not sound like a lot, but for someone who has been stuck in passive fluency, it is a massive breakthrough. You are finally telling your brain that English is a language you speak, not just a language you listen to. And you will start to notice something interesting after the 3rd or 4th day. You will start to hear those phrases in your head throughout the day. You might be sitting at your desk and you'll suddenly think of the sentence we practiced earlier about seeing progress on a project. Your brain starts to suggest English words to you because you've made them active. You've moved them from the basement of your library up to the front desk. It's such a great feeling when that happens. It's like a light bulb going on. And remember, the topics we choose here are designed to be used immediately. We talk about how was your day and what do you do, because those are the most common questions in the world. If you can answer those 2 questions with confidence, your social anxiety will drop by 50%. You won't be worried about the start of the conversation, which gives you more energy to handle the middle and the end. We want to help you build a library of these go-to responses. But again, we can give you the patterns and the stories, but you have to be the one to say them out loud. You have to take that final step. And don't worry if you feel a bit tired after practicing your speaking. That is actually a good sign. It means your Broca's area is getting a workout. It's like your muscles feeling sore after the gym. It means growth is happening. If you just listen and you feel relaxed and comfortable, you probably aren't pushing yourself into the active zone. Real learning happens in that slightly uncomfortable space where you are trying to produce sounds that are new to you. Embrace that feeling. Be proud of yourself for making the effort. Most people stay in the comfort zone of passive listening forever, and that is why they never reach their goals. By even trying the talkback method or shadowing, you are already ahead of 90% of other learners.
We also want to address the idea of perfectionism one more time, because it is such a huge barrier for B1 learners. You are at a level where you know what good English sounds like, so you are very aware of your own mistakes. This can make you want to stop talking because you feel like you are failing. But you have to remember that fluency is a journey of 1,000 mistakes. Every time you stumble over a word, you are actually learning how to say it better next time. The only real mistake is staying silent. If you speak and someone doesn't understand you, you can try again. You can use your hands, you can use simpler words, or you can describe the thing you forgot. That is what real communication looks like. It's not a perfect script, it's a dynamic exchange.
Exactly. Even native speakers stumble. We forget words, we start sentences and then change our minds halfway through, and we use filler words like and all the time. If you listen closely to us, we aren't perfect either, but we keep going. That is the secret. The goal is to be understood, not to be a walking dictionary. So as you go through your week, try to find those small moments to turn on your output. Maybe it's 5 minutes in the car, or 3 minutes while you are waiting for the kettle to boil. Every little bit counts. If you can combine those small moments with a consistent study routine using the 50-50 rule, you will be shocked at how much progress you can make in just 1 month.
We really believe in you. We have seen so many people go from that frustrated, stuck feeling to being able to have a full conversation at a party or a business meeting. It doesn't happen overnight, but it happens faster than you think once you start focusing on the right things. Stop worrying about advanced grammar for a while. Stop trying to memorize thousands of rare words. Focus on the English you need for your real life. Focus on talking about your day, your plans, and your opinions. Use the lessons on this channel as your guide. We provide the real style conversations and the stories, and we give you the sentence patterns that actually matter. Your job is to take those patterns and make them your own by speaking them out loud.
That's the mission. We want you to speak English about your life, not just study it like a dead subject in school. English is a living, breathing tool that connects you to other people. It opens up job opportunities, travel experiences, and new friendships. But those things only happen when you speak. So here's your call to action for today. Don't just finish this video and move on to something else. Choose one phrase you heard today, or one sentence from a recent lesson, and say it out loud right now. Say it 5 times. Say it while you are walking to the next room. Feel the words in your mouth. Notice how your tongue moves. This is the start of your journey out of passive fluency.
If you found this helpful, please give this video a like and share it with a friend who is also struggling to speak. Sometimes just knowing that you aren't alone can make a huge difference in your motivation. And if you haven't subscribed yet, now is the perfect time. We have so many exciting topics coming up that will give you the perfect material for your 50-50 practice. We are going to talk about how to describe your job in a way that isn't boring, how to talk about your health without sounding like a medical textbook, and how to share your future plans with excitement. These are the building blocks of a confident life in English. We are so excited to be on this journey with you. Remember, every time you open your mouth to practice, you are winning. You are overcoming the fear, and you are building the skill that will change your life. It doesn't matter where you are starting from. It only matters that you keep moving forward. One topic at a time, one sentence at a time, one day at a time. You have the library in your head, and now it's time to start making some deliveries. You can do this. Thank you for spending this time with us today. It is such a privilege to help you find your voice in English. Take what you learned today and put it into practice immediately. Don't wait for tomorrow. Your English is waiting to be spoken. Go out there and talk about your life, share your stories, and show the world who you are in your new language. We will see you in the next video for another chance to build your confidence and your skills. Until then, keep talking, keep shadowing, and keep growing. You are making real progress, and we are so proud of you. Happy speaking, and we will talk to you soon.